Okay, 5-minute hip stretches. Here we go. We'll start with a warm-up of just circling the knees around. And of course it's yoga, so make sure that you have a nice rhythmic breath. Then you can circle one leg around. I usually start with my right leg. And breathing as you circle it around, or take it out to the side and kind of stretch it out there, up and down. Come to the center and just do a little hamstring stretch, pointing and flexing your foot. And then take your knee across your body to the left for a little twist or a big twist, just depending on how it feels. Back to center. And remember, it's just a warm up, so we're doing this quickly, especially if you're going to do this every day. Just getting some movement in your hips, a little bit of fluid to lubricate the joints. And then to center, stretch it up into a hamstring stretch. Point and flex the foot. And then across your body to the right, which means your torso is turning left. And you always want your torso to turn right first and then left. That's why I always start with the right foot. So hug the knees into the chest, maybe take your head to your knees, see how your back feels. And now you can start with the real hip stretches. Actually, this one is a little bit more of a warm-up. So cat-cow leg raise. Keep your foot flexed and push it up toward the ceiling. Squeeze that glute. Squeeze your stomach muscles as you pull your knee in. The inhale is the arch back. The exhale is the round when you push the breath out and bring the knee in. So I think I'm doing this 5 or 6 times on each side. And so we're warming up the hip joint again and also getting the back flexible. If it hurts your back when you do the rounding and pull the knee in, just go to sort of a neutral spine. You can still pull the knee in, but just don't bring your head to your knee. And so now that we're warmed up, we will do a Gomukhasana or cow face pose variation. So take one leg across the other side of the other leg, slide your feet out to the edges of your mat or however far you can go out, push your hips back to your heels and stretch your arms forward. So even though this is 5 minutes, we're not really timing any of this. Usually I stay in each pose for about 5 to 6, 7 breaths, or however long you want to sort of feel the stretch. Try to breathe down into your belly on this one, and that's going to give you a little bit more stretch into your back, especially your lower back and your hips. And then cross the other way. And you can do the same thing seated. It's just a little bit harder. The feet go to the sides of your body. You know, your sit bones will be sitting on the ground, and you'll have the knees stacked in the same exact way. So if you like that better, you can always try that. I find it's a little bit harder for people. This one is a good variation. So again, stretch your arms forward, push your hips back. Once you get the length, you can breathe into your belly and get a little extra stretch. So we're going to try to hit all parts of our hips. So this is the outsides of the hips, kind of like the thigh glute area. And now we'll get the inside with the child's pose. So knees go as wide as you can go. Just go, experiment with how wide you can get your knees. Put your toes together if you can. And then, of course, stretching your arms forward is going to give you the length in your back. Try to relax your hips here. And then however long you want to stay in this is, just up to you. 5 or 6 breaths is good if you're going to do it every day. Mostly you're just trying to create a pattern for your body. So don't have to hold it that long as we're doing it every day. And then this one is everyone's favorite, lizard lunge. So you put your right leg forward, you can turn your right foot out to the side a little and your knee out to the side and drop your hips forward. This one is the extra credit, catching the back foot. A lot of people can't do this, so don't worry if you can't. Just leave it alone because it's a terrible hamstring cramp to get if you can't get your foot. You can also go down onto your forearms like this. So feel the stretch in the groin, sort of inner hip area. More of the front of the hip, I guess. After we did child's pose is the inner thighs. And then, of course, you've got 2 legs, so you got to do the other side. And this side, just see if it's easier or harder. The most important part is to keep pushing the hips down and forward. Try not to let the butt kind of stick up in the air. You just want to keep pushing the hips down, right at your edge, and breathe. You'll feel that tension right at your edge and try to breathe it out. Okay. And don't hold it too long because then you might start crying. Just kidding. So go on to the back for the figure four stretch, which is our second to last stretch. And you can also do pigeon pose instead, but this one is just a nice gentle way. You can also be relaxing your back, especially if you're going to do it every day. This one might be the better choice. And then other side. And like I said before, you don't really have to worry about doing it for too long. Of course, you can stay longer if you have more time. But if you're going to do something every day, it's kind of nice to just do it a little bit. And you should see some results. At least your body should feel more open and relaxed. Reclined bound angle pose is our last one. Feet together, knees wide. If it hurts your knees, you can always stick some blocks underneath your thighs to lift your knees up. And I always put my arms sort of out to the sides or overhead. And this is kind of like your Shavasana, I guess, if you want to say. So just sort of think about your day and the energy you want to bring to it. And then when you're ready and you want to transition into your day, or maybe this is at night, go ahead and pull your knees into your chest and your head to your knees. And enjoy the rest of your day or